and every story can change the world. Together we are Global Speakers Talk. Oh, hello, I'm Elizabeth Gregor, and today I'm here to talk about the power of a book. And so I'm an author. But have you ever wanted to leave a lasting legacy for the next generation or even record your story for your family so that they can learn from your experiences? Well, today I'll be sharing with you 10 reasons that you should write your book now. You know, you're not guaranteed tomorrow. Anything can happen, right? Um, and we want to make the most of the time that we have. Well, everyone out there has at least one story they can share that will inspire and uplift other people and provide transformation for their lives. And so that's something I can help you with. But for the purpose of this talk, let's focus on the reasons that you should do this and you should do it now and not delay. So, the first reason you should harness the power of a book is the power of referrals for your business. So, by writing a book, it can be handed from person to person and be given to generate leads or referrals for your business in ways that other marketing materials cannot help you. You know, people throw flyers away, people throw business cards away, maybe even by accident. They don't do it on purpose. But have you ever heard of someone throwing a book away? No, right? They typically don't. They usually pass books along. And so by writing a book, this is one of my books, you can use that to get more leads for your business and referrals. Another reason to write the book, you can actually use it to communicate testimonials about your business. So I have my books loaded with testimonials of how I've helped my clients and their happy reviews inside, front cover, back cover. And it's just a quick way to let other people know how you can help them and, the satisfied customers that you've had, right? So that's kind of more the business reason to do it. But there's a lot of other reasons to write a book too, right? Every book isn't about business. Maybe you've been thinking about writing a novel or some other piece of fiction. These can inspire others as well. So inspiring others to share their story and their creativity is an additional reason to write your book. You know, I've helped children's book authors get their book published as well. And that impacts the next generation. Another way you can use your book once you have it done is to get on podcast. So when you have this thing in a square with a nice cover, it really quickly communicates to the audience and to podcast host who you are, who you can help, and how you can help them. And that's just a quick way that they can communicate that with their audience. And just there's something about having a book that you just get invited to more podcasts. So that's another reason to write your book. The main one, whether it's for business, ministry, or some other purpose, is there's something about having your expertise organized and in this little square thing that positions you as an expert in your field. You know, how many people do you know out there that have written a book? There's some people, maybe they've started writing a book, but they don't have the diligence to finish it. Maybe they stop halfway through, or maybe they get distracted by life, right? Now this goes back to today, right? You want to leverage your book today, yeah, so you can impact other people. But A book could easily add 5 to 10 years of experience in your fields. And everybody has an expertise, right? No matter what kind of business you have, what kind of calling you have out there, maybe you even have a storefront business, you can still write a book about your experience. Someone that maybe has a bakery, they could do a cookbook, for example, and that could be an additional product they could promote with their product line. It doesn't have to be necessarily all about your story, although you can share your story too. But either way, it's just really a good tool to position yourself as an expert in some field. Now, it's also important to make sure you write the right book, and don't if you're doing this specifically for business and not just writing any book. And that's where you need an expert to help you kind of decide, what is the best book for you to write. The next part is, another cool thing you can do with your book is get on more stages. So if you're someone out there that wants to start in the speaking industry, maybe you're a coach, maybe you're a consultant, you can leverage your book to get on more stages. You actually will have something to leave the audience with, right? You could sell your books when you're on stages, or you could leverage them, say, in exchange for speaking. Everyone in the audience gets a book, as part of your speaking package. So that's a really important reason for that. We already covered a little bit about leaving a legacy, but the legacy part is true whether it's just your personal story or whether it's, more about your business and your procedures and processes in your business. There's a reason a lot of people read the Bible. But it's a collection of different writings, right, over many years, all pointing to Jesus Christ. And I'm using that as an example to show you the power of a book, right? And that's one of the most read books in the entire world. And there's many books out there. We have Homer and Iliad, some of these Greek writings as well, that have survived thousands of years. So think about that. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, these platforms may not be here 20 years, 30 years from now, but we'll still have books in some form or another. So that's really an important way that you can preserve your story for future generations. Another key point is you can build a brand around your book. So, for example, the book that I have is Blossom in Your Field: Strategies to Build and Brand Your Business Biblically. And I have cherry blossoms on the cover. So what that communicates to the audience, it's very pink, right? It's fuchsia pink. So my target audience for that is Christian entrepreneurs, especially women. Okay. So you can hit your target audience with specific branding and marketing with your book cover. That's more with your book cover and the title, but that's certainly a way to get your message across to the right people. Another key point is that it's easy to organize your thoughts for easy communication between others. There's something about when you have to outline a book and organize it with the key points that you really have to think deeply about what you're saying, potentially even sharing it with other beta readers so that you can get some feedback on what you're sharing as well, which is even better practice for when you want to get on stages or share on podcast. We already talked about as a promotional material, a book, but it's also a great networking tool. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to networking events, and even just simply holding the book up, people are come up and talk to me about the content. They see the cover, they see the title, and then even before we begin the conversation, they already have an idea about how I can help them. And really, you want to make it about serving your audience when you're interacting with others at a networking event, right? And so that's a great way just to advertise, here's what I can help you with, in addition to maybe wearing apparel that's branded. Another key point is your book can generate some passive income from royalties, right? The royalties and or, if you have copies of your book and can sell them different places, I always carry a few copies of each of my books because I never know who I'm going to meet and who might benefit from it. So there could be some passive income from that and royalties, especially if you do Amazon ads, Facebook ads, different advertising for your books to start driving traffic there. They can also be used as a free as a lead magnet to your courses and coaching programs, right? Something about providing a physical, tangible material really helps people be interested in your content. Another point here, your story will help people. If you've overcome addiction, you've overcome abuse, if you've overcome anything that's really dramatic or really a lot of people struggle with, there's somebody else waiting for you to share your story out there. And a book is the best way to do it because you can leave it with them, have your contact information there, and they can reach out to you with more questions. But also, as we said before, it is preserved for future generations. And another point I found is if you step up and do your book, there's going to be so many other people around you that are like, wow, that's awesome. And they're going to want to share their story. So it has this effect of influencing others to share their stories as well. And don't you want to do that and leave a lasting impact, not only for yourself and your future generations, but then also your friends, your acquaintances, those people that you know. You're going to inspire them to share their story and lead to transformation in the world around you. And then the last part I wanted to share is actually you can build a business from your book. Meaning maybe you're still working a 9 to 5 out there, or you're in a job that you don't like, or maybe you're trying to put a couple part-time jobs together. We all know that layoffs come and go, right? So a really good hedge of protection about that is start with a book. And once you get the book published that is concerning your expertise, you can then use that to build your course, your online course content, and your coaching program around that. And really get started with another stream of income before you have to worry about layoffs or anything like that. So I hope this inspired you to write your story, the power of a book, whether it's your story or for your business, and just the urgency of doing it now because we don't know, health things can happen, family things can happen. You never know. So there's no reason to delay anymore, right? Some of my clients have been writing a book, working on it for 5+ years. And then I come in and help them and they get their book done in a matter of a couple months. So really just want to encourage you, if you're in the middle of it, writing a book, or if you haven't thought about it before, really consider it and all the benefits. And that's all I wanted to share with you today. So thank you.
Together we are Global Speakers Talk.